Hello students, in this PPT I will be explaining about types and benefits of electronic banking. Different types of electronic banking are ATM, phone banking, home banking, SMS banking, internet banking and wireless application protocol and so on. Coming to ATM, which is also called as automated teller machine, this ATM has menus and using buttons the menus can be selected. And there are also menus for withdrawing the amount or for checking the balance, getting the receipt, changing the password and so on. These menus are designed to be simple to make a choice very fast, but if the menus are complicated, then the user finds difficulty in making a proper choice. And if the client is requesting for a large information, then that information will be sent to the client's registered mobile number. And if you are using an ATM, some banks are going to charge a nominal fee, but some banks offer this service free of cost. But the disadvantages in ATM is that the menu does not have what the client is expecting. Then it becomes a disadvantage for the client. And the other disadvantage is that if the computer responds in a different way and not the way what the client wants. If there is any problem in ATM, like if the ATM is not accepting our card or if it's not accepting our password, then we can call a telephone banker who is going to resolve the problem. This ATM works 24 hours a day and it's located in most populated places so that it's easy for everyone to find it. And when we want to use this ATM, we require an ATM card as well as an ATM PIN, which is also called as personal identification number. And this ATM can be accessed 24 hours throughout the day. And what are the services this ATM is going to give us is like depositing of amount, withdrawal of amount, transfer of funds as well as request for a checkbook or an account statement and so on. In phone banking, we can get all banking services at any place and at any time by dialing a number which is provided by the bank. The client can also get information about the active and the passive banking products. They can also even request for a services like opening or cancelling a term deposit or a current account and even request for a payment order. The communication channel used is a fax which is connected to a telephone server to get all the banking services. But the drawback in this phone banking is the customers cannot see the transactions they are doing because the communication is done by phone. In home banking, the accounting transactions can be done using a computer at any place. That is, it can be a home or an office. Some of the features of home banking are high level of security. That is, when we want to access our account, will be provided a password. Using that password, we can access our account. The next one is comfort. That is, we can do transactions in our comfort zone. That is, it can be home or an office. And it's very easy to use. And data transmission is done automatically because of networking features as well as wired communication. And the client rights are defined properly. That is, to access our account, bank provides a username and a password. Only by using that we can access our accounts. The home banking system has two parts. The one is the bank computer program. The other one is the program in the client's computer. The bank computer program works as a server and verifies the identity of the user and even receives calls and data from the client, verifies the digital signature of the client and even generates the digital certificate after doing a transaction which is done by the client and sends it to the client. A short text message which can be used for active and passive operation is sent to the client's mobile number. The client receives this message when a certain operation is performed by the client or when the client requests for some information. There are two types of messages. The message can be a public or a private one. In public messages, it can be about interest rate or the currency exchange rate and there is no protection for this type of message. But in private, the client's account balance is not a public information and it must be protected using a password. In internet banking, using internet we can access our accounts and do bank transactions. In internet banking, the services are offered 24 hours a day. There is no need to visit the bank or call them unless the issue cannot be handled online. In wireless application protocol, the example of a wireless device is a mobile. In this WAP, the text information is sent to a mobile phone. The mobile phone receiving this information must have a supporting WAP technology. Then the mobile phone can receive these messages. This WAP is also like a gateway for the mobile network operators to give service to his client, and for giving security, the electronic key is used, but very less number of users are using this WAP banking. Benefits of electronic banking. With electronic banking, bank offers services like paying tax, filling the tax application, and so on. All these things can be done in online. Since the speed of the transaction is very fast, more transactions are done over internet at any time and at any place without visiting the bank. And it's also easy to update our account, maintain the accounts by changing the email, when checkbooks can be ordered, account status can be checked, and even use any other services which is offered by the bank. And any updates and changes in our account will be alerted via email and phone. Limitations of electronic banking. There is a personal touch between a bank and a client, which is found in traditional banking, but it's not found in electronic banking. One more limitation is accounts are prone to illegal activities, hacking and phishing, even in spite of encryption software which is used to protect the information. The other limitation is if the software is complicated, it's difficult for the users to navigate the pages. And complex problems and transactions cannot be handled by e-banking but can be handled by a face-to-face meeting. In electronic fund transfer, the time taken to transfer the payment between banks is reduced. It also minimizes the banking cost. Check clearance is done fast and even reduces the fraud. But many users are not using this electronic fund transfer. Because of that, several innovations were done to simplify the electronic payment. So what were the innovations done for the customers? That is, the customers can use the credit and debit cards. They can use even ATMs, when stored value cards and electronic banking. For online customers, the innovations were they can use a digital cash, electronic cash, smart cards, and even encrypted credit cards. The innovations for the companies were the bank provided interbank transfer through automated clearing house, where the company can transfer the salary to the worker's account from the company's account. Electronic fund transfer at point of sales. In this, cards are used to do financial transaction at point of sales. These cards are inserted in the card reader machine and transactions are processed. There are two types: credit transaction, debit card transaction. In credit card transaction, the card issuer transfers immediately the money to merchant when a purchase transaction is completed and a monthly bill is sent to the card user. The transaction record is kept with the credit card issuer. Debit card transaction. This is also one form of fund transfer. The debit card is a token with data and authenticates the consumer. The card owner enters the PIN number after the completion of a transaction and the amount is transferred to the merchant account. The finance transaction is direct, that is, the amount is directly transferred from the consumer account to merchant account. Digital token based electronic payment system. This is also one more electronic payment system which is based on e-tokens, and it's not an e-cash or e-check. This e-token is equivalent to a cash. There are two types. The first one is cash or real time. The second one is debit or prepaid. In cash or real time, e-currency is used for transaction, but in debit or prepaid, the user pay in advance and it's used in smart cards and electronic purses. The third one in this is the credit or the postpaid. The example for this is e-check. Issuing the card, authentication and verification is done by a third party by identifying the customers. Authentication and verification of customer is done by the bank server. The transaction takes place after all the above processing is done. Issues in digital token based system. The first one is nature of transaction for which instrument is designed. Digital tokens are designed to handle micropayments, that is small payment, and even for conventional products. They are also designed for general purpose as well as for specific purpose. And when designing these digital tokens, they involve the parties, the purchase interaction and average amount. The second one is means of settlement. When we want to settle anything which is in the form of a cash, credit or electronic bill payment, digital token is used. but the credit cards are the most commonly used ones. The third factor which we should consider for designing the electronic tokens are approach to security, anonymity, and authentication. These electronic tokens vary from system to system, and it should also be secured by intruders and hackers. Therefore, encryption is used for this security purpose, and this encryption uses a digital signature of customers for verification and authentication. The last factor is risk factor. If customers have e-tokens and currency, then no one is ready to accept these e-tokens. And if the delivery of payment takes a lot of time, then this is also one risk factor. This electronic cash is an online payment system which uses computers with security and privacy implemented. This electronic cash is also a form of storing and exchanging values, and it cannot be converted easily into some other form of values. The characteristics of e-cash are monetary value, that is, e-cash has some value, and we can store some value in this e-cash, and we can even exchange the values with security. Because of these characteristics, it's an attractive payment system in the internet. The advantages of e-cash are there is a privacy for the e-cash, and it's acceptable by everyone, and the transaction cost is also very good, and it also has a good anonymity, that is, will not be knowing who is the owner of this cash. But the limitations of electronic cash is poor mobility, that is, we cannot convert it into some other form very easily, and the transaction is also not very good, and there is also a chance of very financial risk and chances of forgery. The features of electronic cash are recognizable, transferable, untraceable, anonymous, portable, and also has the ability to make some changes. This e-cash can be spent only once, and it's independent if it's not related to any network storage devices, and it's also freely transferred between two parties because it's portable, and it also allows funds to be transferred anonymously. The next is e-cash structure. It is a string of bits. This string of bits can be a currency, a value, reference. It can be also a digital signature or a digital watermark. The key properties of electronic cash payment systems are: the first one is security. High-level security is implemented using encryption techniques. The second one is anonymity. That is, there is a privacy for the transactions done. The third one is portable. That is, cash can be transferred between storage devices with a network or without network. The next property is two-way payment. In this property, the digital cash can be transferred to other users. For peer-to-peer payment, registered merchant status is not required. The next property is offline capability. Exchange of digital cash is done offline, and host connection as well as availability is not required in this. The next property is divisibility. The digital cash can be broken into smaller amounts, and this cash must be fungible, that is, you can trade this cash for something else. The next property is infinite duration. This digital cash does not have any expiry date, and it loses its value when the issuer has gone out of business or lost it. One more property is wide acceptability. This digital cash is accepted in a large community because of the trust in the issuer. The next property is user friendliness. This digital cash is simple to use from both the spending perspective as well as the receiver perspective. Because it's simple, it's used by many and accepted by all. Benefits of electronic cash. Electronic cash does not require authorization of payment. Cost is also very less and can use existing infrastructure, that is the internet and the computers. The next one is limitation of electronic cash. Criminals can perform illegal transaction which is untraceable, and power failure, loss of record is also a problem. Money laundering is also one problem which is not traceable in electronic cash.